Hello, it's Ileana and welcome back to the Crafty Alcove for the next instalment of the 12 Days of Christmas layouts, which of course was set by the wonderful Victoria Marie Calvin as part of her Facebook group challenge way back in December. And I'm showing you some of the products to use in this layout, which I will have used and prepped up some of the embellishments for, because the challenge was to use, was it 8 embossed embellishments? And of course I have the Sizzix and I love to use it, and no better time to use it than when there's a challenge like this one. So I brought out all the embossing plates I thought I was going to use, and I'm just showing you here the ones that will feature on this page. And this is a really old October afternoon paper, and I really love it. I still love it now, but I just didn't quite know how to use it. I thought I was going to use it as a complete background, but in the end I've cut it down. And so I'm just matting these pictures onto some chevron and kind of bike track papers that I have embossed. So they count as kind of 2 embellishments in a way. Well, it's backing paper or cardstock, but I suppose in the loosest sense of the term embellishment. And I'm just inking that with some chalk ink to give a kind of a blue hue to the edge of that, each of those. And the pictures are of my 2 sons, Elias especially, but Lorenz does feature. This was way back at the beginning of December when there was a light up Morden event, and Morden, in case you didn't know, is you could say the start of the Northern Line, the tube line, or some people say it's the end. I like to say it's the start, and it's our nearest. And there was an event up there with the turning of the street lights, no, not the street lights, they're always on, the turning on of the Christmas lights, and a lovely event where lots of the community got together, including the local church. And so we went inside, and there was a wonderful model railway set up inside the building, and Elias absolutely loves trains, and he was hooked on the whole thing. So we were stuck there pretty much. Even though there was a Santa's grotto, he thought, okay, well, I really must, and he went up to see Santa, and he just came straight back to the trains, and there were fireworks popping outside and everyone fled, and we were just watching the trains, and it was really cute to a degree, but I kind of felt a bit trapped in there after a while. Still, Elias thoroughly enjoyed himself, and it was really, really sweet train track, and it was a real steam railway actually, and the enthusiasts that were running the whole thing made it quite an event for him, so, and everybody else who was watching. Back to the layout, of course I'm edging the paper, which is a watercolour paper that I've cut to size 12 by 12, with some pigment ink, and it's kind of cappuccino colours or something like that, and I was trying to get a variety or variation of the browns across the top and the bottom to frame the page. In the end it wouldn't really have mattered, because as you see I've embossed the whole thing with the embossing powder in copper, and it's evened out the tone of the brown there. In any case, I really love the way that came out, and so yeah. The next kind of stuff I'm doing is trying to work out where all the embellishments are going to lie, and I love the fact that I've found a load of scraps, including that which looks a bit like ledger paper, and it was by Paper Mania, and it must have been just an edge of an old layout I did. I can't really remember the layout now, probably before I was doing these process videos, but I've made use of that, and I'm so pleased whenever I get to do that. And there's a load of these little cutouts, tabs and tags and things like that from the Sizzix machine that I'm incorporating here as well, giving it a bit of a dockety sort of theme, because, you know, trains and tickets and all that kind of stuff, and the ephemera that you collect from journeys. So I'm definitely going with that as my main kind of an idea, and I love gold, in case you didn't know. And so I'm using these embossed pieces as well to layer up. But I decided that although I love gold and I really, really can't get enough of the stuff, there comes a point where it's just a bit too in your face. So I've covered it a little bit with some of the plainer ephemera, but I really like the kind of little pops it gives across the page anyway. And the embellishments I've used are by and large ones that I've made myself. There's only a couple that are, well, there's a sticker I can see on the final layout, and you'll see me use that. And apart from that, actually there's 3 stickers or something like that, and a couple of wood veneers and things, and some of my homemade enamel dots. But yeah, everything's pretty much homemade and home embossed. And I think I did reach at least 8 of these embossed embellishments. But since this was all post-challenge, it was kind of just me having fun with the whole challenge after the date it had closed, because I really like a challenge and I wanted to do some Christmas layouts. But had I not had the challenge, I may never have got around to this, because Christmas is quite a busy time. But so I'm just coming round to narrating these, although actually I had done these layouts in December itself. And so here I go with the distress ink in I think it was the paper I showed you there, which I had to abandon, and I went to the back of that, I think it was a chevron or kind of anyway, some sort of paper, and I went to the back with the, might have been vintage photo instead. You probably saw me lift up the colour to you, because I realised that the paper is slightly greenish hue, and this one was the right shade of brown, so I've used the back of it with the brown. And cutting out the chevrons as well. Do love a chevron. And generally speeding through the ink there, because these are just parts that I'm going to be layering up. And that one was a polka dot piece. Actually, I hadn't embossed that. That was from a cut off of some paper on a previous layout. One of the things I'm trying to get good at with these layouts is to remember to leave some white space for the eye to rest on. That's something I think I've achieved fairly well on this layout, although there is enough interest, and especially as the process goes on, you'll see that I've flicked a bit of ink around, but I've tried to leave enough white just to make it feel restful in amongst all this busyness, because I do love layering up stuff, but I like to have a balance, and that's something that I'm really trying to work on. So that's kind of a personal challenge. And one of the ways I think also you can achieve balance is by keeping the colours in check. So not having all the colour palettes, which I love to do as well. So I've kind of kept it to the muted browns and reds and creamy sort of shades, and not really incorporated any greens. So I've kind of kept one wedge of the colour wheel off, and that way I think it also tones in really nicely, makes it look quite a restful page, even though, as I've said before, it's quite busy really. I think that gold star I had already punched out. That's from a, who knows, probably a Hobbycraft punch or something. And I decided that would look quite nice floating off the edge just slightly, but still obviously anchored onto that cluster. And I just decided to frame the tickets there with that strip of paper, to kind of give the whole page something of a border to hold it together, in my opinion anyway. I think that works really nicely. And going with the scraps of paper, I'm sure that was just from the last layout. I don't think it was all that long ago I was using those blues. Yeah, it was the cat in the hat. So that's the dark and the light blues are exactly from those papers. And I've even, you can't see it on the film terribly well, but the ticket sticking out of the top right there, the rather large ticket, actually does have slightly lighter blue edging with the words coordinations.com on it. So it is actually the branding of the paper. Not terribly exciting, but I quite like the two-tone effect of the ticket. That's why I did it. And those are the October afternoon stickers I was talking about. I would be using some stickers. And this one here says look, which of course Elias is pointing in that bottom left corner picture. So I thought that would work quite nicely there. As well as those, the buildings, the saloon, the general store, the newspaper, the gunsmith. Because at the steam railway, as I was talking about, there was the lovely little Christmas market all set up with little figurines, and they'd gone to the town with the decoration of it all, as well as gone to town with the theme. So anyway, I thought that would emulate that quite nicely, that sticker, because I don't know what on earth else I'm ever going to use those stickers for. So I'm really pleased to get use of it there. And just layering up a few bits of embossed ephemera behind those there too. And I think I did prepare a few bits as well that I thought I was going to use and I've just abandoned, but that's hey-ho. That's how it goes in scrapbooking. So I'm just showing you the brand of the stickers there, as I just explained, and I'm using the middle there to kind of create a sheriff's badge, I suppose. And these are beautiful little wood veneers that came in a previous quirky kit, probably the first one I've subscribed to, and they're still floating around. I had killed that kit ages ago. I just still, you end up with a few bits and pieces anyway, and so I'm pleased to be getting some use of these here as well, which gives a bit more dimension to the page, which currently is quite flat. And I've pulled out the Vintage Market Sizzix die to create the lettering. The word Chuffed is my title, and in brackets below that is also Light Up Morden in blue writing. So you'll see that in the stills later on. And the journaling I've kept very simple. There is more to the story, but I didn't really want to embarrass Elias with the whole thought that he was a bit of a train spotter, so I've kind of gone with this. Sweet little Elias, once you saw the indoor steam railway, you didn't care for fireworks, etc. What more can I say? That is the story, really. And if he asks, I'll have more to say about it. And I'm sure that he'll remain a train enthusiast for the rest of his life. The way he's going now, we shall see. In fact, as I'm narrating this, we've got train tracks all over the floor from tonight, and I've just decided to leave them out. He can have them tomorrow. He is absolutely into his trains, and actually I quite like building it with him as well. Shared passion, perhaps. And yeah, so just going to leave it there, really. I think the last few things you see me do is to stick down some of my homemade enamel dots and to flick a bit of gold ink all over the place. And the enamel dots were made with IKEA's version of perler beads, for your interest. So anyway, thank you so much for joining me again for another one of my process videos, and I look forward to seeing you again soon for another one. Bye for now.